ultimately this stuff all comes down to power and money. Someone abusing their power using money in a different way is Man City.
Right. Yeah.
Manchester City, you like that segue?
Yeah.
I see.
I like that. That was good. I wonder where you're taking that.
You appreciate it. I like that. Good stuff. Man City are being investigated.
Yeah.
They're also not guilty yet. They will be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were charged by UEFA initially, and now this is a charge by the FA. 4-year investigation.
Yeah.
And they found
4-year investigation going back about 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
They're going back to...
So they went from, I think it was 2008, 2009 to 2018.
Yeah.
So that was the 10-year span they were looking at.
Got you.
Yeah.
What do you want to explain what's happened?
Well, I don't know the full...
Do you know the general premise of it?
Well, I heard that they've basically been falsifying sort of their accounts.
So they can only spend a bit... Man City got taken over in the mid-2000s by a super rich... what country is it?
Saudi, I believe, yeah.
One of these Arab countries, aren't they? They're all the same.
Yeah. Yeah, carry on.
And basically they can only spend this. They became like one of the richest clubs in the world, but they can only spend money on players based on a certain calculation and algorithm based upon the money that they generate. Yeah. Man City, and it's a bit of a joke that they don't have fans and all the rest of it, but they genuinely are not as big as they just don't have the history, do they, of Manchester United and Liverpool and Arsenal and all the rest of it. So they just don't generate the money that they were hoping that they would generate, so that because I see them doing loads of stuff with on social media. They kill it. They do so much with like FaZe Clan and like just so much really cool
professional gaming.
They've got professional gaming. They push all this stuff forwards because they need to get their revenue up in order to kind of. They've got a bunch of money there, but they can't actually access it until they make enough. They generate enough revenue. So what they've done is, or what they've alleged to have done, is lying about the money that they've generated to essentially unlock the funds to go crazy in the transfer market. But they've been spending, and they shouldn't have been spending. Basically.
Yeah, but like, I feel like it was obvious to majority of football fans that know anything, because like they were spending their books came out, or not the books, but like they spoke about some of their how much they were generating from sponsorship, and their sponsorship money was more than what Man United are earning. And I'm not saying Man United are the best club or biggest club in the world, but we're one of, and I would definitely say we're bigger than City in terms of fans.
Bigger than City,
And our sponsorship was just generating less than theirs, which was kind of like, they don't sell out their stadium. The stadium's a lot smaller. They don't have as many fans worldwide. Yes, they're becoming more successful in the football world, so they are starting the next generation
the later
of fans.
years might have made some sense.
Exactly, the next generation of fans are starting to come through. Like, they play exciting football, and they probably... but like, throughout those 10 years, they were generating more money than Man United through sponsorship, and it didn't really make sense. And then they're spending...
There's also like
money.
a conflict of interest between the sponsorship of the club being companies that are owned and operated by the same people that own the club.
Yeah.
So they are sponsoring themselves,
yeah.
meaning that the sponsorship is a blank check and can actually just be whatever they make it up to be, because it's not a legitimate business deal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like me having... I have a business called The Product Club, and then I have a podcast. This podcast being sponsored by The Product Club. But they're both mine.
You paying into
it's
your
I'm
own...
paying myself. Yeah. So it's completely... It's completely false. It's completely fictional. And then have you seen the emails that have come out?
I didn't see any of these.
Oh, there's new emails that came out literally today of them emailing some other middleman and emailing their sponsor saying basically, like what I said about the blank check, we'll want some money from you, but we don't know how much yet. We'll let you know, but just kind of like keep the money to one side for now, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we're going to go into... Basically, what they're doing is they're spending first,
and then they'll
working out how much they need to generate, and then making up how much they've generated based on that, rather than trying to generate money and then the other way around. So, yeah, what do you think should happen?
Do you know what? I've seen people say to kind of like take away... anything that they've earned over those years.
Sorry to cut you. Juventus had a similar thing in the Italian league, and they lost 15 points.
Yeah.
For context.
Yeah. So, like, I was going to say, that was what I was going to lead on to. I think they should face, like, a points deduction or potentially relegation and fine. But I don't think anything should be done about anything they won in the past. Do you know what I mean? Like...
You don't want a retrospective title?
No. I just, like, imagine some of the moments that we'd missed. Like, the Aguero moment, that was fucking heartbreaking as a United fan.
It would be so funny to just erase that from history.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just suddenly be like, oh, they
They've got a
did
statue of it.
No, I know, but they did win it, but they didn't. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and
I'm kind of in agreement with you.
like, I just.
But I mean, the Olympics do that though, don't they? The Olympics would
go
take
back?
away. They go back because I'm someone's got like a silver medal. Once someone's been found to have been doping from like the 90s,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
gone back and said, "Here's your gold medal that you got like 20 years ago." That's different because it's mostly individual.
Yeah.
Individual
but
achievement.
also,
but-
it's not. It doesn't take away from what the players achieve. Like the players, I don't think have any fault in that. Do you know what I mean? They've just been told that this club wants you. This is the amount of money they're going to pay you. I don't think the players would have had any idea.
I
about-
think that players should take more responsibility.
You reckon they should take responsibility?
I do, yeah.
Because I think
If I'm a 17-year-old wonder kid, I appreciate 17's too young, but I think this is going away from the financial topic. But when people say like, let's say Enzo Fernandez flops,
right.
and then people say, and I don't think he was a good player. I'm just saying, just an example because it's expensive. If people say, well, he didn't choose 105 million, did he? No, but he kind of did though. Do you know what I mean? Because players have. When they've got contracts and stuff like that, they are choosing. If Saka wanted to go to City, he could not sign a new deal and go with 1 year left on his contract and go for a cut price or run his contract down and go for free.
Yeah.
If he signs a 5-year, 6-year deal and then next season, and he'll know what his transfer worth is. He will know, his agent will know, they will know, his agent will be constantly working to see what the best deal is, working with Arsenal. They will know, they have to take some responsibility. If they then go, if Arsenal say to him, listen, you signed this new deal, we want to, there's a release clause in it, it's 200 million. He knows when he goes to his next club, he's going to be the 200 million pound player. That's part of his. He knows that.
Yeah, I get that, but like these players
and also the wages. People always say, but loads of people that I know, and I don't want to be like taking the piss out of people's jobs and people's financial situations and stuff, but. You know, people go, oh, he didn't choose the money. When you're at a senior level, you do.
Yeah.
I've been in recruitment firms where I've had friends or myself that's below target, and they've taken me into the office and said, "You're the top paid recruiter in this building." Do you know what I mean? Fucking find a deal. That's what we pay you for. Do you know what I mean? Like when you are making decent money, maybe not when you're on minimum wage, when you're making decent money, they will tell you, you have salary reviews every 6 months or every 12 months, and they will say to you, you're not pulling your weight, we're paying you a shitload of money, and you're not doing what we want you to do. Do you know what I mean? You do get in trouble for making too much money. That does happen in the corporate world.
Oh yeah,
100%.
the more money you make, the more
Pressure there is.
pressure and more culpable you. That's kind of why you're paid. Like,
100%.
like
But
you have expertise that we
people
need,
always
but you
do this.
now need to perform.
They go, oh, well, if you were Sancho and you were offered, that's not his fault. No, it is his fault, though, isn't it? Because he's negotiated that.
Right.
So he's mounted a ton of. If Sancho came in for £25 million on 45 grand a week, he would not be on the same pressure that he's on for being a 75 million pound player on 100 grand a week. You've done that to yourself.
Yeah, but like it's his success that has brought that fee, commanded that fee, right?
Of
Like
course,
he's
but
gone away and performed, so he's now worth that.
No, but Man United aren't paying him to perform at Dortmund 2 years
No,
ago.
I
We're
know.
paying him to perform next season.
But you pay the transfer fee and then the wages are then discussed. So in that regard, I understand what you're trying to
The
say.
wages are very much on the player.
Yeah, right. And I get that. But then, like, what we're talking about with the City situation, like, say you're Kevin De Bruyne at Werder Bremen, or I think that was it Wolfsburg?
Werder Bremen.
Werder Bremen.
One of the green ones.
Yeah, one of the green ones. Yeah, and you're sat there, and then your agent gets a phone call, and it's like, right, Man City have just called. They're willing to pay you this much, and then you can negotiate your contract, but you're probably not thinking, oh, they can't afford me if they've come to.
No one said can't afford.
Right.
We've got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
We can afford it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is, it's like.
So why should they take responsibility?
Footballers don't have the same interview process as employees.
No, of course.
But one of the questions you might ask in an interview is, what does success in my role look like? Right. You know, what does 6 months, 9 months look like for me when I come in? And if they say to you, well, 6 months for you, Dom, looks like 15 goal contributions and blah 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 blah, and you look at it and go, that's big. That's a big. I don't know. Do you mean you might not say, okay, I'll have £375,000, please? You know that that pressure is gonna be there.
Right, but then I don't understand.
Just because they offer you, have you ever turned down a job before?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of people that have turned down jobs. I've turned down jobs. When I was younger in recruitment, someone's come to me and goes, oh, we've got a job here. It's X amount of thousand. You can do this, do that. And I go, what kind of targets have you got? And I go, oh, we pay you good money, but the targets are really high. And I go, yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that move yet.
Yeah.
I'll take a year. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm ready
yeah.
for that move. So
Yeah.
again, in the normal corporate world, we're two average guys. We've both turned down jobs because we've gone, actually, that job's not right for us.
Right.
So
but-
it's not acceptable when it's footballers. People go, oh, well, they offered them the money. That's just stupid.
So okay, but tie it back. Like that's talking about pressure on players and choosing their pressure.
I'm talking about, yes.
But we were talking about players taking the blame for what's happened above them at City. Like I don't
But they
think
would know. The players would know that they're part of that.
But
It's like the difference between somebody. Okay, so for example, in boxing, we've seen some people taking steroids, right? Taking a pill and taking steroids,
Yeah, okay.
injecting steroids.
Yeah, I
but then
understand,
no. But sometimes we have also seen some athletes taking steroids not knowing, because
Right.
the coach is putting steroids into their food or injecting the steak, and they've got a dodgy deal with some farmer from.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
Okay.
sometimes they don't know. But it's the boxer's responsibility to choose his trainer. And if that trainer has a known reputation for that, it's got a history of doping his own athletes over
Yeah.
the last 10 years, the boxer has to take some responsibility for that.
yeah, no, but that
And this is financial doping. So
Right.
if the agent is looking at Man City and they're going, you guys don't make this much money.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. You guys
Yeah.
don't generate this much money. You can't afford to buy my player for 65 million. And they go, listen, mate, trust me, mate. Then, because that's how it goes. Trust me, mate. It's going to be fine. Then the player does know.
Yeah.
And if they can prove
But then
if they can prove in emails that there's been skepticism and they've gone, don't worry about it, mate. We'll buy all your siblings.
Well,
a
that's
house,"
the thing,
then the players do know.
But I just think that the players
It's not good
wouldn't-
enough to just go, they're just a guy doing
No,
their job.
I know, but I just think the players wouldn't even. Like, that's probably
You
not
think they
something
don't
they.
think about
I
firing?
just don't think that's something that crosses their mind. Like they,
Bullshit.
I don't think it is. I
Bullshit.
think they're sat there thinking, I'm playing for Werder Bremen at the moment, Werder Bremen,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Man City are knocking on my door. I want to play in the Prem. They're offering me the money that I want. I'm gonna go, and that's like how.
Then I believe that they're in the wrong for that. I think that
Yeah,
that's their responsibility to do that. They make all the millions in the world. They can pay a financial advisor. This stuff is public information.
Right, but-
People have said this about Man City for years. It's not come out of the blue. Everybody has said this about Man City.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
guys are in the football business. On my old recruitment sales floor, we used to have a financial advisor on the sales floor
Yeah.
because people were making upwards of 250, 300,000 pounds a year.
Yeah.
That's not that much money.
But then-
These guys are making 250, 300,000 pounds a week.
Yeah,
They will
but-
definitely have financial
Yeah,
advisors.
but then you've got players like fucking Phil Jones, for example, who gets 100 odd K a week for sitting on the injury
So,
table.
Do you
But
think Phil Jones has a financial advisor?
Yeah, probably.
100% he does.
But what he wouldn't be sat there going, oh, I don't think United would pay me this much to sit on the injury table.
But is
You
it
know
going to
what I
come?
mean?
You have to check. Is this going
They'd
to
be like,
come
you're
back?
paying me how much?
Is this going to come back and bite me in the arse? It's no different. It's no different to what Man City are alleged to have
But
done.
yeah.
What Man City are alleged to have done is fraud.
Yeah,
That's a
Of course,
that's a
yeah,
crime.
yeah.
That's illegal.
That's
Yeah. So if this was away from football and I was committing fraud, but I was using your bank account or whatever, I was selling drugs and I was using you are what we call an accessory.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So depending on how much the players know, the players could be accessories
Right.
to that fraud. So I'm saying if we can prove that the players knew that, if they didn't know. Right, because you see it's in like money laundering and stuff.
Yeah.
If you had no idea I was using your business to money launder, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But if we can prove that you did know, and you said, well, you can use my business, but I better get 10% because blah blah blah, and you did know,
Yeah.
then you are an accessory.
Yeah, if there's
so they
communica-
shouldn't be completely immune from
No,
that.
okay. If there's communication evidence, then
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
But like my initial thought is that these guys at the top are crooks, and they're trying to do it all under the wraps. Even Pep said in an interview last year, I think he said, "Look, I've had conversations with them. They told me it's all by the books,
Yep.
and if I find out that it's not, then I'm gone."
Yeah, well, we'll see if he leaves.
Yeah, and like, well,
I think points deduction or relegation, and I'm leaning more towards relegation, to be honest with you. And
you just want them away from. Yeah.
we're not in the league this season anyway. They're not a threat to us. They're a threat to you guys.
If you're losing to Everton, I don't know.
We're
bro.
5 points. We're 5 points ahead of them. With a game in hand.
You said you got to copy and paste the first half of the season to the second half. You've already failed in that one.
No, we haven't.
Everton.
We lost one game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about-
okay,
yeah, exactly.
all
So calm down.
all
It's
right,
got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
listen,
there's plenty of games left to play.
it's smelling. It's smelling like back-to-back titles now. It's smelling like back-to-back titles.
No,
But anyway,
so-
but honestly,
Actually-
the key thing for me is I don't want to see a fine because they have so much money.
Yeah,
There is
fines
no
are
amount of
pointless.
fine that we can give these people that's going to hit them.
Yeah.
It's useless.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you've got people, the point of this is to scare or warn people like Todd Bowley or people like whoever might be looking to take over Man United, take over Liverpool, etc., 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 the Premier League has to do something seriously hard to warn those people to not come in here and fuck about.
Yeah.
Because fans from all over the world are already complaining about the Premier League, saying, you guys have got a bunch of teams that want a Super League, plus a couple other teams, and you are already a Super League.
Yeah.
If you look at the money that the Premier League has, it's over. We're already the Super League.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous,
and it's going.
Yeah.
But it's not even just talent. It's there's players in. We lose European games to foreign teams all the time. It's not about talent. It's about money. The money is obscene, and it's actually too much at this point. And going to the point of players not taking that responsibility. You've got players like Mbappe, 22, 23 years old, negotiating shares in the club.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the board.
Yeah, I know.
He's looking at the book. So this idea that all players don't know, they fucking do know. Because when they want. That's
bizarre. That's bizarre, though.
But when a player wants to go, actually, get me on the board, I want this and I want that and I want that, they will be slick in how they go about it, depending on not all players.
But these like state-owned clubs are just. I think that's ridiculous.
I think relegation is the only. We've got Newcastle as well. I think relegation is the only thing that makes sense. How many points can you deduct from these guys? Because if they continue their same antics, they can actually not buy points back, they can buy points. They could bring players in which almost guarantee them points and keep doing what they're doing. And also then there's going to be an asterisk over whoever wins next season's league because they'll go, oh, well, Man City weren't in the league, it's gonna. It's a mess.
But then straight relegation, middle of the season, what would you do?
It wouldn't be the middle of the season. It would be for next season.
Okay, for next season.
Yeah, anything that happens won't be this season. The punishment has to be in the season that they're found guilty in. I think that they'll hold the verdict until the summer and then punish them next season. So
you don't think... So if it was a point deduction, you don't think it would happen this year?
No, it won't be this year, no.
Okay.
No way, no.
Interesting.
So the title race will continue.
But
exactly as is.
I do think you're right in terms of like it has to be.
Because again, if they deduct 10 points and we win the league, people just go, oh well.
The race was taken away from
exactly.
you.
I wouldn't care because I'm shameless, but I'm just saying like.
It does kind of. Yeah. It's like the little asterisk on Liverpool's league.
Exactly.
It's COVID. No one's in the ground.
But there should be asterisks over it. Chelsea would have won a league if it weren't for City, and we would have won a league if it wasn't for City in 2 of those years.
Mourinho would have won a league with United as well.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. And so Alex, the Aguero moment when that happened. But what I was going to say is that I don't think this is the last we would hear of this as well in terms of I think other clubs are probably guilty as well.
Do you think you're guilty?
I don't know, but like...
I don't think we're guilty.
We've
literally just started spending money.
But just imagine, like, 10 years of this, right? Other clubs would have seen their spending and been like, there's no way they earn that amount of money and they're getting away with it. And then when they did have the UEFA charge, they paid good lawyers and all of a sudden they're free.
Well, Everton could be in trouble because they've spent obscene amounts of money despite being shit. Yeah. They still beat us.
I was just about to say.
Aston Villa.
And they lost their star player as well.
Who's their star player?
Anthony Gordon, wasn't it? To Newcastle and they lost, didn't they? Or they did.
He's shameless as well. But yeah, Newcastle. Obviously, it's a warning to Newcastle. Even for us, we just started spending money last 2 seasons, and when we started spending money, we started getting warnings from FFP.
Yeah,
and we were like,
"Well, I think the only club that needs to worry now is Chelsea."
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
After their little spending spree recently,
Chelsea need to win. They need to win, but they need to. The problem that Chelsea's going to have is Todd Bowley is going to need to find the club that does this the best actually is Tottenham. Tottenham does this the best. Tottenham generate good money because they have loads of events. They have boxing at their stadium. They have the NFL at their stadium. They're holding out on naming rights to get the best price. They generate good money, and their money making is up here and their money spending is down here.
Yeah.
But so he runs the business, Levy, really well. Whereas Chelsea's fans are very old school. They're very football purists. They're very English. Do you know what I mean? But if they have to start doing NFL games and stuff at their stadium to make they will not like that. Nah. They're going to enjoy spending the money, but they're going to have to make some contingency to make that money back.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that there's going to be a clash with them and Bowley because they need to do more stuff than just football.
Yeah, 100%. Chelsea, there's no way Chelsea...
Chelsea's a huge brand, but they will not be happy with a lot of the stuff that will come with having this owner spending all this money. They need to generate more money.
But they are also making contracts longer so that they can spread the fee out. I think it's called amortization or something like that, where you basically spread. So it's not like you were saying about like Mudryk or how much was he? 100 million in the end. So 100 million, but it's spread out over 8 years. So that fee is a lot smaller on the books for that financial year. So like by doing that and being clever about the contracts he gives out.
But it's clever, but it means that in 2 years' time they will be stuck.
Yeah, that's going to be added to that.
If they don't win anything for the next 2 years, and I don't know how good Potter is for that team, we're going into football talk. But I think that if they don't win anything really soon, they'll have this huge bill, and they crucially will not be able to sign anyone because what they've done is essentially given themselves 50 mil a year every year
to start the books already.
On the books already. So then they've got a really and then the problem that you've got is if these players don't perform, they'll need to generate money by selling them, and they will not be able to sell these players. For £100 million of the money that they're on, if Mudryk comes in and doesn't, I think he'll do well. Just as an example, if he doesn't perform for a season or two, and suddenly he's 23 years old and he's not really doing it, they're not going to get back the money. The resale value isn't going to be there. So it's a really risky strategy. They need top four this season.
Instant
if they don't get top four,
kind of
if they don't get top four next season, they'll be in real big problems.
They have to get it next season. The amount of investment they've put into that squad.
But they're just the manager and the system and the tactics. The whole thing is not.
I don't think he's going to get the time.
You've got Arsenal. Do you know what? They might replace City. That might be the best chance they've got if City get relegated or drop points. But you've got Arsenal, Man United that look quite good. Newcastle's there.
And they haven't even started.
They haven't even started their real spending power yet. But it could be scary hours. That fourth spot, Liverpool, if they could come back strong.
Yeah, they've been looking.
That fourth spot could be really
dreadful at the moment.
They do.
Did you see their top scorer in January was someone who scored 2 own goals? I think it was a Leicester player. Like literally all their other players, like I think like Salah has 1, like literally Nunes has 1, and then there was a player I think I can't remember his name, but he was a Leicester player. I think scored 2 own goals, and that's
that phase.
Yeah, and that's their top scorer.
The worst thing is he's a really good defender.
Yeah, I know.
He's a really good defender.
That looks really bad. To score 2 own goals in one game is awful.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah,
but Man City, I think relegation would be my preferred method. I think it's the thing that scares people the most.
Yeah.
Because if you look at someone like Newcastle with all the spending power they've got, they'll look at Man City, depending on the amount of points. Because how many points could you deduct? 10? Maybe 15?
From City?
Yeah.
I think,
you can't deduct 20 points.
No, that's...
Do you know what I mean?
So probably half of what they have.
That's what I'm saying. So if they deduct 10, 15 points, someone like Newcastle, who's on a slow build, will go, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we're not winning the league right now, or the Champions League right now. So we'll break these rules because they're not expected to win anything for 5 years.
Yeah.
So they're happy to break those rules.
It has to be a punishment where you look at it and think, "Fuck, we can't deal with that." Like
also,
a season in the
Championship. The Champions League. Like if you're United wouldn't do it because you're too big. But some clubs would go, "I'll happily I'll break the rules, build a super team, lose 10 points." Still be competitive in the league, top 4, top 5, but I'll win the Champions League.
That's why a fine is an absolute no-go for the punishment. Because there's so many clubs that could. This
is also why City was so desperate to win the Champions League.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you know what I mean? But they couldn't do it. If they could win the Champions League, then they could deduct points. And in a season like this, if they lost the league to Arsenal by 2-3 points, deduct us 10 points, fine. We lose the season, but we win the Champions League. Everything's all fine. But